We are witnessing one of the darkest and most disgusting displays of evil in our generation. And most of the world is quiet, distracted, or worse, applauding the wrong side. Shalom from Israel. I'm Hananya Naftali with the latest update from the Middle East. Young Israeli men, Ron Braslevsky and Eviatar David, were shown in recent videos released by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. These are not war criminals. These are not soldiers. These are innocent civilians who went to a music festival and ended up being kidnapped and taken underground into Gaza's terror tunnels. Since October 7, 2023, they have been held hostage, abused and starved. This is not a figure of speech. This is literal starvation. They are being denied food and water and filmed like trophies for propaganda purposes. What Hamas is doing to these hostages is exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews during the Holocaust. The only difference is that this time, the images are in color instead of black and white. When Jews are targeted as Jews, kidnapped, hidden underground, and denied food and water, this is not just a war tactic. It's ideological hate. It's systematic dehumanization. It's a modern Holocaust. Ron Braslevsky appears in the video released by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. He is barely recognizable. Weak, frail, lying flat on a mattress. His voice soft, almost lifeless. He says he hasn't eaten all day, just 3 pieces of falafel. He begs for food, for water, for help. He writes in a notebook in Hebrew, "Get me out of here now." What kind of monsters record a starving man begging for water, then proudly release it? What kind of society cheers that on? Let me remind you of something. In the Holocaust, Jews were rounded up, stripped of their humanity, locked away in ghettos and camps, and starved to death slowly. The goal wasn't just to kill them. It was to break them. It was to erase their dignity, their names, their existence. And now, 80 years later, Jewish men are once again being starved. Only this time, it's not Europe, it's Gaza. And the perpetrators are not Nazis in uniforms, it's Hamas. Then there's Eviatar David, also kidnapped on October 7th from the Nove Music Festival. In the latest video that Hamas released, he's so emaciated that his bones are visible through his skin. His face looks hollow. His eyes are distant. What is he doing in the video? Digging a grave. His own grave. Let that sink in. A Jewish man underground in Gaza, starving, forced by Hamas to dig a grave for himself. Freed Israeli hostage, Kal Shoam, who was held in the same tunnel, confirmed that it's the exact same location.
I want to be really clear about it. It's the same tunnel I was held in with a guy, Gilboa Dalal and Eviatar David. Just few meters away, there is an iron door. Behind that door, sitting Hamas terrorists, a group of them, eating plenty of food, plenty of vegetables, meat, fish, and fruits. They have everything that they need, which they stole from the humanitarian aid that was supposed to be for the people of Gaza.
Shoam said that the terrorists even bragged about the food they had. They had everything. They lacked for nothing. And just meters away, Eviatar and others were starving, denied food. It's the same story again. Jews locked away, hidden from the world, denied food, denied humanity, while their oppressors sit comfortably, fully fed, and mocking them. That's just a shame for humanity. Anyone that doesn't condemn this, anyone that doesn't speak up, should be ashamed of themselves. And I want to deal with something else. The constant claim that there's famine in Gaza because of Israel. That's the headline you keep hearing from Western media. Israel is starving Gaza. There is a humanitarian disaster, genocide. But here's the real story. There is no famine in Gaza. The real problem is not the supply of aid, it's what happens to it once it enters. Hamas takes it, they hoard it, they sell it, and they use it to feed their terrorists while denying food to Israeli hostages. This is not a humanitarian failure by Israel, it's a deliberate tactic by Hamas, who weaponizes suffering to gain sympathy and demonize the one country still doing more than anyone else to help. And people may ask, why is there still no hostage deal? Why are Rom and Eviatar that we saw in the videos are still in captivity? Here's the truth. Hamas doesn't want a hostage deal. They want power, they want leverage, and most of all, they want to drag this out as long as possible. And here's how they think. Number one, the hostages are currency to them. Hamas treats every hostage as a bargaining chip. If they release all of them, they lose their leverage. It's that simple. And they know that Israel is serious about ending Hamas. And they believe that as long as they hold the hostages, they will continue to exist as a terrorist ruling organization over Gazans. Number two, every video is a psychological warfare. When Hamas releases footage of a starving Rom or an emaciated Eviatar, they know it hits Israeli society hard. It's meant to shake our unity, to pressure our leaders, to divide us. These videos are weapons in the hands of Hamas. That's why they release them. That's why they film them. But actually, it backfired on Hamas because it exposed to the whole world who they really are. The true colors of Hamas, terrorists who deliberately starve hostages. And you can see in that specific frame where the terrorist is handing Eviatar something, you see the arm of the Hamas terrorist. It does not look like he's starving. Look at his arm. It looks perfectly fine, healthy, and it's just pure evil how they are starving an Israeli hostage while they themselves hoard the food and keep it also from the Palestinian civilians. Number three, the longer it drags out, the more sympathy they get. Hamas is not stupid. They know that if Israel keeps fighting while hostages are still in Gaza, the international community will blame Israel. The protests will grow louder. The fake news will spread further. This is not about negotiation. This is strategic blackmail. It's terrorism with a public relations department, if you will. Evil loves to wear a victim's face. It knows that the world is more likely to cry for the loudest mourner, not the actual victim. But truth doesn't depend on emotion. It demands clarity. And it demands courage. Look, this is what the Holocaust looked like. When Jews were rounded up, as I said, abused, starved, and treated like they were not humans. What's happening to Israeli hostages today follows that same ideology. How can anyone be silent? Or worse, how can a human being raise the same flag that Hamas raised when they invaded our country, butchering people, kidnapping civilians? Today, Jews are being kidnapped, held in darkness, denied food and water, and used as propaganda tools to break their spirit. That's not just terrorism, it's the same hatred that drove Europe into silence 80 years ago. The world ignored it then, and it's ignoring it now. The slogans may be different, but the goal is the same. To crush the Jewish nation and erase its future. But that's exactly why we are at war. Not because we started it, but because we're going to end it and we're going to ensure our existence to bring our hostages home, to defeat evil, whether the world stands with us or not. Even if we have to stand alone, we will continue to stand strong. But my question is, where are all the human rights organizations? Where are the celebrities and politicians who cry over every false claim about Gaza but ignore starving Israeli hostages? Where is the UN? Where is the world? Once again, Jews are being tortured and the world doesn't seem to care. Because it's easier to blame Israel than to confront evil. Let me tell you something. You cannot fight evil by staying neutral. You cannot balance the suffering of hostages with the complaints of their captors. This is not two sides. This is good and evil, period. And if you care about the truth and you want to support Israel, then subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. With the growing fake news, lies, and propaganda, don't let these stories get buried under the fake headlines. I'm Hananya Naftali. Shalom from Israel. Together,